Have you ever felt like you're doing everything you're supposed to do, but nothing seems to be happening? You keep showing up, you keep putting in the work, you keep praying, yet the results you're hoping for never seem to arrive. Meanwhile, it feels like everyone else is moving forward while you're standing still, wondering if any of your effort even matters. I've been wrestling with that a lot lately, and maybe you have too. For the past 15 years, I've been building my reselling business. Some years, sales were great. Other years were much slower. Even when I constantly showed up and do the work, I don't always see the results I expect. I've also looked at other job opportunities over the years. Some seemed like a perfect fit, but the doors never opened. No matter how many times I've tried to figure out another path, I kept coming back to the same feeling deep inside. God was calling me to work from home, continue reselling, and now step into content creation. The challenge is that when you aren't seeing results, it's easy to start questioning everything. And that's exactly where I found myself. Looking back, I can see there was a season when I became distracted. I convinced myself that if I just added more commitments or stayed busier, things would improve. After all, years earlier, I had balanced multiple responsibilities and still had good sales. But this time was different. The distractions weren't really helping. Many of them were rooted in fear of failure, fear of what people thought, fear of believing the lie that maybe I wasn't capable of running a business. Most importantly, I wasn't putting God first. When I recommitted my life to Christ 3 years ago, I began noticing something I had overlooked for years. The enemy loves distractions. Sometimes the enemy doesn't try to stop us with something obviously bad. Sometimes he simply keeps us busy enough that we lose focus on what God is actually asking us to do. Over the last few years, I have found God continually saying, "Trust me more than you trust society. Walk away from the distractions, keep following me." And honestly, that hasn't been easy. We live in a world that celebrates being busy, but following Jesus often requires slowing down enough to hear his voice. One thing God has been teaching me is that faith is not a feeling of certainty. Faith is choosing to take the next step even when you can't see the destination. It's continuing to show up when there's no evidence, yet that your efforts are working. It's trusting God that is moving beneath the surface, even when all you see is silence. And that brings me to two small signs of progress I've been learning to recognize. The first sign is increased opposition. Over the years, I've noticed that when I'm stepping into something God wants me to do, resistance often increases. Distractions showing up, discouragement gets louder, technology all suddenly stops cooperating, unexpected problems appear. Even while creating this video, I battled thoughts telling me I shouldn't have started this channel, that I don't have anything worth sharing, and that I somehow misunderstood God's calling. But here's what I've learned. Many times, months later, I can look back and clearly see the good thing God was doing that the enemy was trying to prevent. The opposition doesn't always mean you're on the wrong path. Sometimes it means you're exactly where you're supposed to be. The second sign is much quieter. It's when hardship causes you to depend on God more. This year, as sales have slowed and I've worked on building content, I found myself talking to God more than ever. I've shared my frustrations, I've asked for wisdom, I've asked for strength, I've cried plenty of tears, and while I still don't have all the answers, something important has changed. My trust in God is growing. I'm learning to wait on His timing instead of demanding my own. And God's timing has always been better than mine, even when I couldn't see it in the moment. If you're in a season where you're not seeing results, I want to encourage you with this. Don't measure your progress only by what you can see. Sometimes the greatest growth is happening underground where no one notices it yet. Keep taking the next faithful step. Keep showing up. Keep trusting God because faithfulness isn't wasted when God is involved. And today, instead of worrying about the entire journey, focus on one small step God is asking you to take next. That step may seem insignificant, but obedience in the small things is often where God begins His greatest work. If this message encouraged you, I'd love to hear what season you're walking through right now. Thank you for spending a few moments with me today, and I will see you in the next video.